Senator Padilla.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know 5 minutes go quick, so I'm going to jump right into it. First couple of questions may seem off topic, but there's a point. Please humor me here. You're a science guy. Cybersecurity is a top concern for the country. Should we be embracing policies to ensure people's privacy or security, or should we be trying to do both?
Both.
Thank you. We love our freedoms in America. Should we be pursuing policy that ensure public safety or protect civil liberties, or should we strive to do both?
Both.
I suggest this because for all the talk that I'm hearing about the need to prioritize affordable, reliable energy, I agree. We also need to be advancing clean energy for the sake of the grid, for the sake of environmental protection, for the sake of public health. We don't have to choose between the two. They're not mutually exclusive. We should be striving to do both. That's my position. Do you agree or disagree?
I would agree.
Thank you very much. Now, a couple of things also to correct the record or to comment on some of the statements you made at the outset, where you made suggestions that some of the funds released at the tail end of the Biden administration were rushed out at the last minute without appropriate due diligence and review. My experience, our office's experience, that it came out at the tail end of the Biden administration because of the due diligence and review that took place. We had been anxious and pushing the administration for years to move on some of these projects. So I just wanted to note that different point of view. Second, your comment about oil and gas resources in America. You seem to have left out the potential and positive contributions of solar and wind and geothermal. You painted a picture of intermittency being a challenge. I point to the experience and quantifiable progress made in California when you integrate battery storage into grid reliability and affordability. So that being said, let me jump back to the key topic of today's hearing, and I'll go back to several of the statements you made during your confirmation hearing. Your confirmation hearing, your statements, Mr. Secretary. You said there was 3 priorities you had. The first was to unleash American energy at home and abroad to restore energy dominance. However, the budget request proposes a 74% reduction in the Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy. It zeroes out wind and solar energy technology offices. And it also zeroes out the Office of Clean Energy Demonstrations, which was authorized by the bipartisan infrastructure law. Solar was the fastest growing energy source in the world last year. So how does completely eliminating the Solar Energy Technologies Office advance America's leadership?
So solar wasn't close to the fastest growing energy source in the world last year. That's installed capacity, not energy produced. That data, and 1 year is a tricky data thing. Solar is growing fast. I've worked in solar. I'm in favor of solar, and so we've way over invested resources in hoping wind and solar will magically transform into something they're not. Well, but solar will continue to grow for sure. All I've advocated is we should subsidize it less.
Cutting you off, but our data suggests otherwise, and we'll certainly follow up with questions for the record and beyond. The second priority you identified in your confirmation hearing was we must lead the world in innovation and technology breakthroughs. I counter that with your budget request, which includes a 14% cut to the Office of Science, a 57% cut to ARPA-E. Again, there seems to be a disconnect between what you say are priorities and your budget requests. It's already been raised that these reductions would also lead to staff reductions in national labs, which we've recognized. You're on the record. These are premier research institutions. When you came to California, you reaffirmed your commitment to the national labs, and you said that they were important to maintain and secure a, quote, competitive advantage and security. So unless I got that wrong, how do you expect the United States to lead the world when your budget proposal seeks to decimate our research and development capabilities?
It does hurt me to cut spending in science.
Then don't do it.
Share that passion with you.
Then don't do it.
Passion with you.
Then don't even propose it. Lastly, and I know my time is nearly up, your third stated priority was to, quote, build things in America again and remove barriers to progress. However, in May, the Department of Energy announced cancellation of 24 projects totaling $3.7 billion in investments under the industrial demonstrations programs. Now, these funds were intended to support unprecedented innovation in cement, glass, chemicals, and iron industries, I think, core for the future growth of infrastructure in America. And it's not just because $1 billion of the public and private dollars are in California and the thousands of jobs related, but how does canceling industrial grants that lead to more industrial jobs further the goal of building things in America again?
Because an evaluation showed that the projects at the end were not viable. There's no point in building a bridge to nowhere. If you make a factory make a product 25% more expensive, but customers won't pay 25%,
well, the projects that are being
win?
cut are more than just viable. I would argue they are critical, and we'll be following up with you and, again, hope for the responses as Senator Heinrich has emphasized. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.